Hello. Hi, Jacinth. I see you here. Welcome. I was trying to wait for my air conditioner to shut off because it's so loud. I was like, holy moly, it's so loud. So, what is up, everybody? I'm still doing, donation-based healings and messages for those that want them. But I have something that came through from Malachi. Some important details about this upcoming Lionsgate portal that we are entering the energy into already, that I'm doing an 8-day workshop for. And then I want to talk a little bit about exactly what it takes to make it through this, because some of you are aware and some of you can feel it. Some of you are new here and some are not. The return of Christ has already been done in the energy into the earth. So you are literally watching that play out in your reality. Okay, that's what's happening all over the world, is things that don't align rise to the surface to fall. Okay. And recently, God had done something a little bit drastic, but necessary. Because the entire time that I've been bringing through this work on this page, and everywhere else, hello, everybody, there has been a lot of pushback and lack of love, right? So during the 5 to 7, it was supposed to be a 7-year tribulation period. It took me 5 years to do the work of the return of Christ, literally 5 years to do it. From clearing Mount Shasta to activating pyramids to raising Atlantis to clearing all darkness back to the beginning of time. That's 12 gates of darkness, right? That part was accurate. Not all of the Bible is accurate, but certain parts were, in order to get you to believe it all. So there were 12 gates of darkness that I had to clear, but there was actually 13, not 12, right? Because the 13th was heaven. And the 13th opened up after I dried the Nile. That was one of the final portals. Okay. The Nile is the final portal. And recently God said, enough of the 7-year tribulation. The heart measurements were very lack of love. There was so much lack of love that, especially towards God's work, being able to see beyond the illusion, to choose love, unconditional, not conditional love. There was a lot of like mockery and things within it and judgments. And it was actually hurting more people than not. And so God said, enough, right? There was always a constant power pull of my light, rather than, just following it through to your own and things like that. That's been the way it's been since they took the power of Adam and Eve. So God cut the 7-year tribulation period short to we had a little over a year left. So he bypassed quite a few portals. Okay. And we are now in the final one. God ordered a great reset of mankind, meaning that if you didn't, hear it and heed the call to rise and heal and choose above the illusions enough, you won't make it. Okay. It's not a joke anymore. You don't have time. Okay. He took away the time that it was required to heal all of that. So it's important to understand what you are going to have to be at and what you're going to have to do to make it through this portal. Okay. Number one, if you have any karma and shadows that you have not healed, not cut, not burned ties to, but healed, you cannot make it. Okay. So that's to give you an insight. God said the rule of thumb was, if you can't see everything, if you're not in what you need to be in and seeing what you need to do, and let alone who I am, the work that was done, everything, there was still work to do. Okay. So I'm going to give the message. I'm going to describe to you exactly what it is you have to be at and what you have to do to make it through this portal, because we are in the final one. Okay. Now I have an upcoming Lionsgate portal workshop, which if you're watching the Return of Christ ones, some important stuff has come through in the Lionsgate workshops, right? And one of them, God married my DM and I in 22. It was beautiful. And he showed you exactly what the return of Christ was, us uniting, marrying, open up the God portal, and all of the portals back to the 13th one, which is heaven on earth. That's what we're going to, right? Heaven on earth. Those that chose to heed the call, right? Those that are love unconditional now above all will make it. And the time to heal has been taken. We don't have that anymore. because the heart measurement of the collective soul was very much so lack of love. Okay. So this is what is coming in the upcoming Lionsgate workshop. I mean, you can try to get them on your own, but you need a lot to get them. The Merkabah activations are required. So there is Merkabah activations. I closed my eyes to meditate this morning, and I saw the Merkabah. It's what people call like the Star of David. It's what the Jewish wear on their clothes, except for you have to realize they took all of God's power and light and symbolism to use it against you guys. So just because darkness has used it, just because some religions carry it, what it is the Merkabah. It's the two tetrahedrons, right? One triangle pointing up and one pointing down. It represents masculine and feminine, me and my DM, the sun and the moon. So within this Lionsgate portal workshop that I'll be doing over 8 days, I'll be doing something to the earth for 8 days. I don't just do these workshops for the people. It is that, but it's the earth. That's who I am. I've changed the earth. Every one of the workshops on this page, this channel, are me changing the earth. Okay. Actual bringing down the blood of Christ, I brought it into the earth. All right. And those that did the work with me were supposed to have all the protections and all that too. Okay. But some things happened there. So in this Lionsgate portal workshop, the first thing they said was there are major activations within that for the earth and those that join me in it. And you have to be viable to receive, because if you're not and you aren't able to receive those yet at this time, they're a necessary activation for this portal to make it through, because we are transitioning from a 3rd dimensional reality to a 7-dimensional reality, not 5. So those that did watch the work and partake in it know that I took us into 7D, not 5D, because I was being attacked so severely. And I just kept going. I kept clearing all the darkness. I battled my own twin soul because he was not seeing clearly, and trying to kind of partake in stopping the ascension, unbeknownst really to his totality of understanding. But I kept going and I kept going and I kept clearing more darkness and clearing more darkness to the point where, I mean, that was my response, right? Dig my heels into more light, choose love. And I just kept going and going and going, to the point where I took us further into 7D, because it will never be able to happen here again, right? This darkness, this battle, this carnage, they will never be able to return here again because the vibration won't match. Okay, so that's why I think God changed the plans. Instead of 5D, we went into 7D. And why God changed the plans into this sudden shift, because attacks on me were relentless and even came into the inside of the new earth. So, and damage was done, and I'm not happy about it. Like, damage was done to my DM and I am nothing but love, but I'm like, I will never let that happen again. So this is what Malachi stated about where you have to be to make it through this portal. And then I'm going to describe exactly where you need to be at. And if you're not there, you better get there super fast, because we are now entering into the Lionsgate portal. We are in the portal of the Nile, which, before I talk about that, I talked about my painting. Some of you did the upcoming creative workshop with me. I know now why this one wasn't working. So I started the Nile. Okay, how do I explain this? The return of Christ was a set things of healing the earth, right? It happened boom, boom, boom over 5 years. Nonstop work by me over 5 years. And the final portal was the Nile. I activated the Nile. I cleared all darkness out of that portal, Sekhmet and Horus, back in June of 23. And that is when this painting came through, minus the red. The red was not there, okay? I didn't do the red yet because they stopped me. They said, now stop. I was like, okay. So I couldn't finish the painting. And then recently, when God suddenly shifted all of this and I processed what was happening and understood it and got all that I needed to get, because there's multiple components going on, they said to finish the painting. So I went back into my old painting and we did a creative healing flow workshop recently. And I thought, okay, now I can finish it. And I kept, like, I don't know what you want to call brain farting. Like, I could not finish this painting. And so at our workshop, I drew the picture, right? This is the Nile. This is the portal we are in. So you can see the DM under the moon, me under the sun, the blood coming out of the sky and filling into the Nile. We freed souls from the cross and the Bible doings. The earthquake or the volcanoes and earthquakes are present. And then the changes in tides coming in through San Francisco. So all of that is kind of playing out in this portal, the wrath of Sekhmet. And all that was done has to be healed now within mankind. So yesterday, I expressed my frustration on Facebook about not being able to complete that painting. I'm like, why can't I finish that painting? I sat down, I did 2 creative flow healing workshops, one with my group and one with my kids, and it just wasn't coming out. I was like, what the Heasley? So I decided, something told me draw it first. And I need to get some money quick because I'm like, they have acrylic markers. Did you know that? I didn't until now. So I grabbed a new canvas and I started drawing it. And I'm like, now I know why it wasn't working. So I started drawing it on my new canvas. There's the moon. It looks like my deck of cards. That's new. There's the masculine. I still have to draw his crown. And then on the other side, you'll see the sun and the feminine. And then I'm able to start. It's hard to see it because I'm sketching it first, but then the Nile's coming through. And I'm like, now I know why it wasn't working. I needed a whole new one because plans have changed. The energy has shifted. I have upgraded. And so what was working, coming through the first time a year ago, I wasn't able to finish it from that one. So I was like, oh, I don't know. I found that to be interesting. So sometimes when things aren't working, you got to go within and be like, okay, what do I need to do? And I specifically said to it, I was like, I think I need to draw it like I did my deck of cards. And then I realized they have acrylic markers. I'm like, ooh, okay. All right, this abundance flow has to come back in because that last portal really hurt me and I got so sick and I couldn't be in balance for a couple weeks. So I'm like, as soon as I can get those markers, man. And whether or not I finish this painting doesn't stop the portal, right? We cannot stop it. So I thought that to be interesting. I noticed how a lot of people aren't here today either. And that's okay. I did still have it up for messages and healings. Jacinth and Lisa, you're here. So if you want a message in the end, you can have one. But for everybody else, I'll do donation-based messages and healings. So really quick, I'm going to slow down the energy. I'm going to calm the energy. Isn't that interesting? I know. I was not able to finish. I was so frustrated, you guys. I'm like, I know my art has improved, but every time I tried to do it on this painting, it did not feel good. It did not look good. And this is the one I did when I first did the portal of the Nile. If you know me and you're paying attention to my work, every portal I do a painting. Most of my videos, you'll see a painting of the 7D portal behind me. That one came through when I took us into 7D. It was a gift from the Pleiadians. And so I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it done. And the new thing, I like it. I like it a lot. I like what's coming out. My moon looks like the moon from my new deck that I've been creating over the last few months. That's almost done, by the way. Like I'm on the last few cards, but then something else comes through too, like this Nile shift. So it took a little step back, but I have, let me see if I can find the moon one in this deck. I think it's number 4. Oop, it sure is. It's number 4. So this was the moon card from my new deck. I don't know if you can see that. I know my camera's kind of crappy here. So it looks a lot like that moon. I was like, oh, that makes sense now to why I had to change it, because I have changed a lot since then. The art, the energy has changed a lot since then. So I like it. Thank you. Thank you. My new deck, I love it a lot, you guys. I love it a lot. There's so many in here where I'm just like, I love it. I mean, look at this one. I love these cards. My camera does not do them justice at all. At all. I have a heart one in there I was going to get to too. My son kind of looks like, a sun one. And my son kind of looks like that one. So it makes sense to me now why it wasn't working, right? Thank you. So we have to sometimes get out of our head. It's not up to us always to decide or dictate and control. But that's why we need spirit right now, because things that are happening are beyond our mental capacity and understanding. They are beyond that. Okay. So I'm cleansing the energy. Calming down mind so I don't speak too fast, because the things I talk about are beyond our mental capacity. They truly are. They're felt in your heart more than anything. So, and in our creative flow workshop, I cleared more souls out of the earth that had been meant to be cleared out a long time ago. So the shifts are profound. Okay. This last portal is huge. And only the ones that are going to make it through have love unconditional as their guide. Okay. So this is what Malachi said. Malachi says, in order to make it through this portal, I'm going to also tell you exactly what you have to do. But this was Malachi's message. Internal discernment is required if you wish to have a lens of love. What does that mean? I'm going to break this message down, okay? Internal discernment is required if you wish to have a lens of love, because everything works through you, not to you. So you have free will, okay? And the shadow uses that against you. That's the only way they can get in. That's the only way you can create karma, is through free will. And they tried to tell you otherwise by telling you Jesus died for your sins. Number one, that's not true. That takes away your free will, okay? He was murdered, he was tortured, he was poisoned, and then he was burned. So what they told you was a lie, okay? And they used his blood they used it for a contract written in Hebrew that I undid on Christmas Day in 22. So internal discernment is required if you wish to have a lens of love. Everything works through you, nothing to you. So you need to take your time. You need to sit in stillness with everything. You need to discern internally. How does this feel? Is it of unconditional love? Is it my ego? Is it the shadow? Is it the shackles that bind? Is it based in my karma lessons, my programming, right? Is it trying to get me again? How does this feel? You need to take your time with stuff. And to assume you understand what's happening or what spirit's doing is ego. You have to ask. You have to ask spirit. They will not provide to you what you don't ask for. Okay? Period. All right? So internal discernment is required if you wish to have a lens of love. Everything works through you, nothing to you. So the shadow can only get you if it convinces you to allow it in. That's the shackles that bind you. That's why you need to understand those. Okay, so if you're throwing judgment at somebody, that's your choice to do so, because everything is a reflection of you. The way God is he's in our heart space. We're all connected. That's mysticism. That's why spirit calls me Mystique. They gave me that name for a reason. Jesus was not religious. He was not Jewish. He was a mystic. Okay. He believed God was in our heart center. That's what we tell you all the time. And we are all connected, all connectedness. So if you're in a state of selfishness where all you think about is you, likely what you're doing is hurting others too. Okay. Because we are all connected. Okay. So they want me to keep going. So balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. Okay. So internal discernment is required if you wish to have a lens of love. Everything works through you, nothing to you. So when something's coming at you, it's a mirror of you. All right. How you respond is your power. Balance and what you let in is your power. Okay. So you're giving it away otherwise. You're giving it away to wrath. You're giving it away to anger. You're giving it away to fear. You're giving it away to all of the shackles that bind you if you do so, okay? So nothing works to you, only through you. Just like the return of Christ. If I didn't follow my heart nudges, it wouldn't have happened. I could have stopped it from happening, just like my DM stopped his process, okay? So balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. This is a component of what's required. If you are not in balanced alignment, I always say it's heart-centered balance. But even De La Roca tells you balanced alignment is required. And did you guys notice that after God and I showed you that we went into the portal of the Nile, around a day or two later, whatever, De La Roca said, we are in the final portal. We are in the final wrath, or whatever he called it. So I talk a lot about how he sees what I do after I do it, because he's in balanced alignment. And he tells you guys all the time we have to be in balanced alignment. Okay? So balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. That's what allows you to co-create with spirit, because you're constantly listening to those messages. You're constantly following the guidance. It says somebody left. It shows that I only have one person here. So only one person that's showing love today and wanting to rise. But balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. Okay. What is balanced alignment? You have to be of pure heart. If you have shadow, Lisa says, I'm here. So it must have been Jacinta that left. If you have shadow, you're not in balanced alignment. If you have karma, you can't be in balanced alignment. If your heart is not open and completely pure, and you're not detached from the matrix in every single way, okay? You cannot be governed by the matrix. You have to be able to see it clearly and to always choose unconditional love, because you can see it clearly and your lens is of love. Your vibration is so high. Your lens is of unconditional love. Okay, just say you're still here. Thank you for letting me know, because you know the numbers are so weird. So it looked like you left and nobody was here. It literally says one person's here. So I'm always like, well, fine then. Okay. Darn stuff, they lie. Hang on. I think I got a Palo Santo ash, something in my coffee. Okay. So, balanced alignment is difficult to rise into, especially in this sudden shift, because we were so conditioned in the matrix. Some people are naturally there, especially people like De La Roca, because they're here to help change the world. Okay. So some very high beings, these are not normal beings. He is not classified as humankind necessarily. He would be classified as a starseed. Because, titles help us at least understand some things, but we're all still connected and we're all still important. So higher beings like that naturally navigate towards that. But he also talks about how hard God worked with his heart, right? If you listen to him, he talks about that. He talks about how hard God worked with him to be in balanced alignment. Okay. And God's been trying I've been bringing this through for 5 years. 5 years I've been showing it all and talking about it all. But the shadow pushes hard against the work that I do. And so in order to step out of that, you have to rise above that and not choose anything but unconditional love, right? That's also how you clear karma. But God has taken away the ability to just clear your karma. Like, you have to do this all on your own now. So balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. When you're in balanced alignment from the heart center, your heart is open, your compass is inward, meaning your focus is in your body, not in your head and not in the world around you. You're not focused on what others are doing. You're focused on what you're doing, because everybody's path is different. Everybody's lessons are different. Everybody's purpose is different, even though we're all connected and here for the same reason. Okay. Not to mention shadow works through other people, and it's hard to hear spirit if you're focused outward. All right. So your focus constantly has to be in your heart center. That's what balanced alignment talks about. Okay. You're in your heart center and you're following the nudges of your heart. Okay. Not the matrix. Like, you're not governed by money and things like that. You're governed by joy and love. Right. So nobody can tell me I have to go get a job in order to support myself. And a lot of people will tell me that. You have to do it this way and you have to do it. That's what the matrix does. No, I don't. I'm a powerful creator. I'm a manifester. I create my reality from a high vibrational centered space. Okay. Love is the key to everything, including manifesting. So if my vibration is not of love, my compass is outward, focusing on the chaos or the world around me or others around me, letting them govern my choices or worrying about what they're doing. My compass is not inward, and I am not in balanced alignment. Okay. You may have people who don't make it through with you. That's the reality. Okay. So we have to give people their power, and we have to have our power. Okay. So balanced alignment, because it is a little bit complex and a lot to process because it's not matrix, it needs this time of explanation. Okay, so for me, I had to let go of my 5-year career. I had a 5-year college education for a psychology degree, but it really truly wasn't my heart center in the new earth. I thought it was. It was my heart center in the matrix, but not in the new earth because it doesn't align, okay, with the new earth ways. So understand that your whole reality has to be based in new earth blueprint, not matrix. So from the heart center, that's what that means. Balanced alignment. Okay. So even De La Roca, I use him as an example because he sees what I do after I do it. If you watch his videos, he'll talk about what I do after I do it. Doesn't know me, but he sees it in the energy because it's in the records and it's in your heart. So even, he talks about, he was a teacher and a sudden shift happened with that. He had to leave that alone. And God told him, hey, do this. And God worked hard through his heart. He talks about that. Just like me. I remember when I first had to leave my career, I fought back. Like, that's a lot of school. I loved what I did. I was behavioral. I was really good at my job. And God said, no, don't worry. And I didn't fully understand at the time, because it was just a sudden awakening for me that I didn't see coming or ask for. And then all of a sudden the return of Christ stuff started happening to me. So it's very jarring. And I remember fighting back a little bit and God being like, psh, and I broke my toe, so that I would just calm down and sit still and listen. And then I realized we call in our reality. We call in the money. Money is energy. Okay. So money is a big issue. The matrix used money as fear. If I'm not doing this, if I'm not doing that, I can't pay my bills. I can't eat food. I can't drink water. And that's not God. Okay. That is not God. All right. We shouldn't have to suffer. There shouldn't be a division. There's no power ranking in the new earth. None. Okay. There is the sun and the moon, Adam and Eve type thing. But, it's all connectedness, all love, unconditional. Okay. So balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. You cannot be attached to the matrix at all to be in balanced alignment. You have to know your creative flow, your joy, your passions. Passion is from your heart center. And then you also need to understand that you're a manifester. Everything you do is a reflection of your reality and your vibration. So if something's happening that's not positive, it's due to your vibration and what you're creating. Okay, from money to fear, whatever it is. So balanced alignment, let's say I wake up, I have my disciplined routine, right? Discipline. Look at those people who are bodybuilders, kind of like De La Roca, right? He's really into those muscles. I'm not. I don't care to have a six pack. I like to get healthy though. So a workout routine is in there. So I do a lot of walking. I'm starting to do some Pilates stuff, and I do like my Qigong Tai Chi movements. So that's a part of it, right? What is homeostasis? What is healthy? Self-love is a part of it. Joy is a part of it. And then setting time every day to do your heart-centered creations. So whether it's healings on people, whether it's coaching, whether it just has to be heart-centered. It has to be your passion. Everybody's different, and it can't be governed by the matrix, okay? No, it cannot. It cannot be part of the matrix. It's falling, anchored into that governmental pull. Okay, that control, fear, time control. You have to have freedom of time, freedom of money, sovereignty. This is what they talk about. Okay, and that's why some people, when the V came out and they said, if you don't do this, we're going to fire you. And some people got afraid. Some people felt that they needed to do that to help mankind, and they got afraid of the virus and all that. They used fear and control and to take your power away. That's how you know right away it wasn't God. And others were like, no, they were like, I don't care what you do. I'm still not going to do it. They knew something was wrong, right? And they let them do whatever to them, and they still kept in their sovereignty. And now the tables have turned, and there's a lot of people ill that took it. And apparently it's done nothing for protection, right? Because it's still running rampant everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's about giving your power away. You have to be in full power. Balanced alignment means you're in full power. You're not governed by the shackles, the matrix, the shadow. Your karma is pure and healed because you can see it, right? So you can see where love is not, and everything is used as internal discernment, growth, right? If something comes and triggers you, you need to be able to look within, not shove that outward. Use it as a tool to look within and go, that's not love. I'm going to rise above that. I'm going to clear that, call my power back. That's not love. Okay. This is balanced alignment. That's where co-creation comes in, because your compass is internal. You're listening to your body, to your feelings, emotions. Just like in all my courses, I talked about how those are messages, right? They can be overwhelming and hard to hear. So you have to be able to sit with them, not medicate them, not escape them. You have to sit with your pains. You have to sit with those things so that you can hear the wounds they're reflecting, so that you can rise above and choose unconditional love. But the moment you're like, ugh, and you get upset or you throw them back at somebody, that's the shadow. That's what it wants you to do, because then you removed yourself from unconditional love. Okay. And you've closed off your heart. Is this making sense? I hope it is. Okay. And then that you have to have a balanced routine, you guys. You know, the matrix uses that against you, but they take your life. Some people work 50, 60 hours a week, 40 hours a week. Are you kidding me? When you're in your passion, first of all, it's joyful. But if you don't have self-love components in that, joy, play, nature routines, meditation, and then exercise, it's all about, and creativities. That's all a part of your balanced flow. It truly is. This is why I do my art creative flow workshops. I don't like to paint, but I love to draw, just as I've shown you. But I'll use painting because we're flowing. We're able to flow, and I can heal the blockages. So you have a creativity. I don't care who you are, and you have a passion. And it usually doesn't align with the matrix at all. Okay. So these are the key components. You have to be in balanced flow. Remember, everything works through you. So internal discernment is required. You have to sit in stillness and listen and learn and grow and choose unconditional love only. And now God shifted us to the final portal. So, karma, they hurt you with karma. A lot of spiritual people did, because the shadow wreaked havoc within the spiritual community. It really did. And a lot of people either had their own karma, but some were also false, right? You feeling me? In every place there was false. Every one of them. And they were cutting karmic contracts. I talked about this a lot. They would cut them, they would burn them, and you can't do that. Okay. If you did that, you cannot rise. You have to have all karma at the surface. That's what I did in the path to righteousness, so that you can see it and heal it. Use internal discernment, balanced alignment to rise above every lesson and choose unconditional love. Okay. So you have to be detached fully from the shadow in the matrix. You cannot carry the matrix with you, not even a pinky toe. If money is what is governing your choices, I have to keep this job because I need money. No, you won't rise. Money's falling. Are you guys aware of that? Are you aware of what's happening in the world around you right now? 33. They're talking about it loudly, right? We can't focus on that. If you're rising, it has to be love. But I talked about all of this. I threw money in the portal a long time ago, as well as GMOs. Okay. So you have to purge the genetic modifications of food right now to get through this. You just have to know what's high vibrational, what's not. And money, if money is your guide, that's not love. If greed is your guide, well, I have to make this money. I have to do this. God says, no, it should be love first. Money is a byproduct. It's energy. Abundance is promised always, but you're either governed by the matrix money side, or you're guided by love. That's the two worlds. Okay? So if you're like, I have to have this job, I have to pay these bills, it's an illusion. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Those that are governed by greed have to have the better car, have to have the better house. I will sell my soul for this money because it's what I need to do. That's what you're doing. Okay, because God is love, unconditional, not freedom stealing, right? You have free will and power. You are a creator, you're a manifester. So as a manifester and a higher frequency being, this is what they stole from us, right? That's why they would make you work 9 to 5, paying their pockets first. Then they would tax your money and tax your money and tax your money. They make you think you own a home of hundreds and thousands of dollars, but yet if you don't pay the taxes, they'll take it from you either way. It doesn't matter how much money you've put into that property. They don't like people living off the grid because then they're not able to take from you. You feel me? They don't even like people living in their cars because they can't control you. Okay. So you have to be in your own sovereignty. With money, money cannot be your guide. If money is your guide, you're in the matrix. I can't sit here and go, well, I have to work because I have to pay my bills. Then you're telling God that what he is saying is a lie. And God says you're promised abundance. You are a powerful creator. You call in money. Money is a byproduct of high vibrational love flow. So if I love what I do, my vibration is going to be sky high anyways. It's my passion ignited. Usually our passion is rooted in helping others. It's not a selfish complex. Your passion is never about you. It's about others. Okay. That's God. Balanced alignment from the heart center. I'm working my passion. I'm here to help others because that's what we do. We're all connected, right? And so whenever you find an entrepreneur, they see a need and fill a need. The good ones do it for that reason. The other ones do it for money and greed, right? And power control. But the ones that are doing it from a heart center do it because they want to help people. You feel that's another reflection of difference right there. Okay, because we're all connected in the heart center. We affect each other. That's mysticism. That was Jesus. That's what we are. Okay. And so we know that the way we change the world around us is right here and right now. We know that we call in money, and we know that if we are just flowing and joy and putting out there to help others, money is a byproduct. Abundance is in there. Okay. That's new earth creations. All right. I don't do things because I need the money. I do things because it brings me joy and I love doing it and I love helping people. Okay. Now, if you're attached to something that's matrix related, you're not in your passion. You're not in your heart center. I guarantee you. You're focused more on money and fear. Right. And the matrix is the opposite of that. They're going to tell you have to do this to eat, to drink, and to live. And some of us break free from that. But you have no choice to now. You have to now. You cannot be in the matrix now at all because we are in the final portal now. Okay? God bypassed your time to clear these things. So you better do it crazily now, right? So that's what balanced alignment means. My compass is internal. Anything that comes up, I'm using internal discernment. Is it love? Or is unconditional love, not conditional love? Those are two different things. Is it unconditional love and joy and gratitude and growth? Or is it fear? Is it based on money and fear and greed and control and taking my power away? Is this going to hurt others or myself? Where is this coming from? Or is it a wound I just need to heal so that I can see that love? That's internal discernment, okay? I'm going to move on. So detached fully from the shadow and the matrix. That's what that means. Nothing that comes up, you're going to be guided by unless it's unconditional love and your power. Doesn't matter how scary it seems. That's fear. That's not God. Okay. Because you have your own power. You're a creator. You're always manifesting. Always. That's not something that we just choose to do. We're always doing it. You just manifest what you are. So one can only see as far as their shadow lies within. This is why the rule of thumb right now is if you can't see everything, there is work to do. Okay. One can only see as far as their shadow lies within. That's why most people can't see who I am. That's why when I put out the work and the workshops, the shadow's going to try and tell you, oh, don't click that. Don't watch that. Oh, that's crazy. She doesn't know. Those are all components outside of love. And they push hard against you. So you cannot see past your karma and shadow because that's where you've anchored into. So if you're in judgment and you don't see it, that's why. Okay. Because if you're in balanced creation and internal discernment, you're going to know when things arise that are not love. Your compass is within. You're focusing inward on those emotions. You're discerning them. Is it love? Am I hearing love, seeing love, feeling love? Is this a wound I need to heal and release? The reflections of you, right? Because everything's a reflection of you. If there's something you can't see, if fear is involved, that's where you're anchored into. Okay. If fear is sparked in you a lot, that's where you're anchored into. If there's triggers, you're anchored into wounds. Okay. If it's money that's governing you, you're anchored into that. You're giving your power away to that. Okay. That's the shadow. That's the karma in you. If you're judging even your family members, how many people do you know that do that? Right? They do that a lot. Well, I detach from them because they're alcoholics. Well, you realize that's your karmic play out. There's something in your past that created this in your reality, and you need to learn to love unconditionally and rise above that and give love. So you can only see as far as their shadow. I see a lot of people do this, especially on Facebook. I will post a video component of the return of Christ. Like the Lionsgate portal of the return of Christ, where God married my DM and I. And then we opened up the portal of the gods. Nobody clicks the link. But if I put a post of, oh, money comes to me immediately, they're like, oh, like. And I'm like, they can only see past their shadow, like up to their shadow. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And you can tell they're in judgment. I can feel it anyways. Because I do heart reviews. That's what we do. So keep that in mind. That's why internal discernment is required. Your compass has to be inward, knowing that everything that's happening, everything in your life is a reflection of you. From chaos to things falling apart. Sometimes they'll fall apart so that trueness can fall together. But if you hold on to what's falling apart, you can't fall into place, right? So one can only see as far as their shadow. Internal discernment is required. Then it comes to this. Come from a space of internal discernment, love, and growth, not judgment, fear, and ego. Listen closely to the message this time. Okay, wait. This was a channeled message from Malachi. So I'm about 4 sentences in, but I'm detailing it so that you guys understand what it means to make it through this portal. Because if you don't make it through this portal, you don't stay in New Earth. Okay, period. God bypassed a whole year of time because love was not the focus for majority. And there was a lot of yuck coming towards the work. And I guess because I'm not a guy, I don't know. Because there's so much programming of the matrix, right? So, and one can only see to their shadow. So anyways, come from a space of internal discernment, love, and growth, not judgment, fear, and ego. Listen closely to the message. The time has come to end all suffering, division, and carnage. Those that stay, we won't suffer. There's no division. There's no control on money and food and water. You're a powerful creator, abundance for all. That's why they call it the golden era, heaven on earth. Okay. So the time has come to end all suffering, division, and carnage. War is not of God. Sacrifice is not a God. So when they tell you that he sacrificed his only son for your sins, that's not God. Bloodshed, death is not God. In Atlantis time frame, we used to live for hundreds and hundreds of years. Do you feel me? They lied to you a lot because they like to. Because then you'll do what they want and they take your power away. So without delay, one must rise now because God bypassed a whole year of time. Tribulation has ended suddenly. Or not at all. No time for hesitation or procrastination. That's another component of the matrix. It's going to convince you you have time. You are not promised tomorrow, especially now, okay? Because we have now entered into the Nile portal. The Nile portal, like I told you, if you watched that workshop recently that I did again, and the first one, they put my feet in water and it fills with blood because the Nile River filling with blood and the energy representation of cleansing and purging the planet. Those that stay here will stay in heaven above. Those that have to leave. Okay, you can't mix the energies anymore. So without delay, one must rise now. There was a lot of karmic healing needed. What has been done has not been love. Not at all. The way you treated the one in front of you was not from love. Now, some people here are new, so that's not necessarily reflected towards them. But those that have been here the whole time, and including they have to own their part in it too, was a lot of power play on me. There was a lot of judgment towards God's work because your ego told you it had to be a certain way or only a man named Jesus. What about Eve and Sekhmet and Mary? They were all twin flames and they all were connected. Okay, so it wasn't what people thought. And yet the proof has all been playing out right here in front of them. So the way you treated the one in front of you was not from love. Your lens has to be that only of unconditional love to rise above. Okay, and I would tell people, I trigger your shadow. That's my job. Don't let it stop you. Power and clarity. Balanced alignment to the light of the one right in front of you, for she is the sun. Malachi. Okay. So now that I've explained his message in careful detail, I'm going to read it really quickly through. Because this is what is required for it. You cannot have karma. If you have karma that you did not heal, not cut and burned, you have to heal it. There was a lot of spiritual healers cutting and burning your karmic contracts on purpose. And that causes you not to be able to heal them. You cannot bypass them because it's the great reset, which is what God ordered for mankind, was a reset of mankind, okay? So in order to make it, that's what you have to do. You cannot have karma. I don't care who you think you are or what you think that is. Karma is what you've done outside of unconditional love. Hello, Amy. As soon as you said hello, it looks like somebody left. Now it says there's only 2 people here. So again, if you've cut and burned karmic contracts, cut the energy from them, cut the ties to them, you cannot rise. You have to call all that forward to heal it all, to get through all gates. Okay. So Malachi says this. I'm going to say it one time quickly through because I've already broke it down. Internal discernment is required if you wish to have a lens of love. Everything works through you, nothing to you. Balanced alignment allows one to see clearly the energy around them. Detached fully from shadow and matrix. So if you don't know what balanced alignment is, that's because you were not fully in your heart and healed all the way. Okay? Yay, just saying, still here. Detached fully from shadow and matrix. One can only see as far as their shadow lies within. Come from a space of internal discernment, love, and growth, not judgment, fear, and ego. Listen closely to the message. The time has come to end all suffering, division, and carnage. Without delay, one must rise now or not at all. No time for hesitation or procrastination. Thank you, guys. What has been has not been love, not at all. The way you treated the one in front of you was not from love. For most part, some people here are new. Your lens has to be that only of unconditional love to rise above. Now, God is not judging you. What he's saying is where love is not is where the shadow lies. Okay? Power and clarity, balanced alignment to the light of the one right in front of you. For she is the sun, Sekhmet, the portal of the Nile. Malachi. Okay. So you have to be in balanced alignment with my light. And when you're not, you're letting the shadow in, period. And it cannot enter into the new earth. Cannot and will not. Okay. So we don't have time. You don't have tomorrow. You don't have yesterday. The only thing you have is this second, this moment, right now. Right. And that's not a maybe. That's anything that comes to you that says otherwise is not a message from God. You can get false messages. You can get false guidance because that's the shadow. It's an internal battle of the soul. Okay. That's why internal discernment is always required. Always. Okay. Hello, Roger. You came in a whole hour after the most important part of the message. A whole hour to the most important part of the message. You guys, balanced alignment is complex because you have so much shadow to heal to understand it, right? So that's why it's hard to understand what that is. I'm not the only one who's been telling you that. I am one of the very few that talks truth about karma because I brought the return of Christ. That's not a joke. I cleared all darkness back to the beginning of time, from Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus timelines. But they're all the same souls. Okay, they lied to you. They were separate lifetimes. All right, from Adam and Eve becoming ripped apart, unbalanced, and then Adam choosing the false goddess, which killed Eve. They shifted the poles. It was just the shadow coming in and wreaking havoc. Okay, because if I'm out of balance, the masculine can't see and hear clearly. Okay, to which he chose a false goddess, to which killed Eve. And then the shifting of the poles is what caused the flood, not God. Okay, God would never do that. That's why you guys, God is good. God is very good. However, this time, because of everything that was done to God, to him, to the love, to his offspring, from Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus, is why we are now in the karmic playout. Okay, the karmic playout, you reap what you sow. That's Judgment Day. Except God doesn't judge. That's the shadow, and that's one thing y'all have to let go of. God is unconditional love. And if you can't match that vibration, then you're not ready to stay here. Okay. Because you can't have any karma to rise. You just can't bring the matrix with you anymore. You can't take the light to hurt people anymore, right? We can't use God's love outside of what it's meant for. And that's what's happening. Okay. So that's why people call it the wrath and all the apocalypse. And it's because they don't want to give up what they've been doing outside of God. But you have to, right? You have to, because God has fully returned. I survived it this time. Barely, but I did. And it was very, very, very painful. Very painful. And I'm still hurting to this day from that last attack. So I want you guys to understand that it can't be your way. It has to be God's way. True God, not the Bible God. There's a difference. In the Nile portal, crosses are burning. You see the churches burning for a reason as soon as we entered into this portal. Everything that doesn't align can't stay. So it's all falling piece by piece, and now quicker than it was supposed to. So it can be mentally jarring. Okay, so now if you really want to make it through, you better choose love like you never have before. You can't do these tomorrow. You have to do them now. Balanced alignment, co-creative stance, internal discernment, and balance with my light, the light of the sun, Sekhmet, portal of the Nile. Okay, it's all there. And if you really want to know the totality of the return of Christ, check my ascension playlist. It all plays out there, from freeing Jesus' soul, raising Atlantis, the rebirth of Eve, which was at Lake Titicaca. By the way, that's where she drowned. And that's where I got the white flame back from. Okay. And that's where the language of the sun was returned from. Yeah. Horus. Remember where Horus was born? Barely anybody watched that video. That makes me so sad. But the DM didn't really fully step up. So that's probably why, right? But Horus returned from the Sphinx. The Sphinx was like what they called the portal of time. It had like this black hole in it. And I used that for a few things. But in the end, that's where Horus rose from. That's why Sekhmet built the Sphinx, because that's where he was murdered. Okay. If you don't want to hear that, then you aren't going to make it. We're in that final portal now. Okay. But the proof is on this channel. It's in the playlist, and it came less than a year ago. That happened. That was cool. That was an awesome workshop. I undid his death. We broke off the crust of the moon. That power was given back to my DM. I had to have help holding the moon still while I did it. I broke the crust off the moon. And then Horus rose from the Sphinx, and he was so large, larger than life was that soul. And then it seeked out my DM. Okay. So you have to know the truth. And people are confused on who Horus versus Jesus is, because it's the same soul, but different lifetimes. And they wanted you to think that Thoth was the one, but that's who murdered Horus. Okay. So the truth is right before you. And if you're not ready to see it, you're not going to make it through this portal. Period. If you can't rise above the shadow into unconditional love and be fully open in your heart space and remove all karma now, you won't make it. Period. Okay. I'm going to pull a message from 2 decks for the collective. 3 decks they're calling for. One is a message from loved ones. This was my very first deck that I created. The other is a message from my ascension deck. These I did while I was taking us through the portals in the Return of Christ work. Okay. So these are messages for ascensions, for the ascension. And the other one is guidance from the other side and our loved ones. Okay. And then the final deck will be Heal Yourself reading cards. This is a collective message for right now. You were able to do donation-based messages and healings on this live, but nobody did donate, so I'm not focused on those. Just Saint and Lisa were the first ones here. So I was going to give a quick card message for them. Lisa's the only one that asked for one, so they will get a free one. So for the collective at this time, this is what you're going to need to know. I've already given you Malachi's message. I've already told you exactly what it takes to make it into the new earth. When you get into the new gates, you get a heart review from me and God, okay? Because I have the final say. I am at the gates. That's me. I opened up the gates. I did the Nile workshop. That's who I am. Okay? So you do have to have a heart review, and all karma has to be cleared. There are people who've experienced that, and then there are people who've created karma again and got kicked out. And it's a feeling. It's not just me saying it. I don't even know half the time what's happening. It just comes through us. Okay. So this is not my ego talking. I didn't get famous off of this. I got a lot of judgment and pain. Okay. It's very real. But if you can't clear your karma, not by cutting and bypassing it, healing it, releasing it all, you can't make it into the new earth. You have to have it all cleared. Okay. I see you just sent. So when that happens, when you actually cross in, you have your final heart review, and your whole karmic contracts. It's like this long, long, long scroll, right? It's written in your Akashic records. They're well aware of it. Absolutely. Amy, you can get a free message. Yeah, you can get a free message. It's to the ones that are in my group. You've worked your ass off. Please don't send me money right now, Amy. You can get a free message. So it'll be Lisa, Just Saint, and Amy. And those are the free messages I'll give. If anybody else wants one, you can donate. I've put the information of that in underneath. But if you want it again, I can provide it. Because right now we need exchanges. You guys have got to be giving equal effort to this stuff too, because it's going to take a lot for you to get through. Okay. But when you get through to this portal, what's going to happen? Okay. I've given you in the beginning of this video, if you've just joined in, watch the whole video, because Malachi and I tell you exactly where you have to be to make it through this portal. You're in the final one now. Okay. 11:11. It's 12:11 my time. I love it. But what happens is, and this is what happened when I finished the Nile workshop and I walked into New Earth after processing her death and opening up her gates. watch all of that because I talk about what not aligns burns and things like that because the energy is too high. That's why it's not punishment. It's just it doesn't match the vibration. Okay. So what happens is your heart review is front and center, and all of your karma is there. And if it's all cleared, that whole contract burns and it just dissipates. It like turns to ash, and then you're given a blank one because you're free. Like you get to come into the new earth with a blank slate and all about, just abundant creation of love. And two people left. If you don't believe that, you're not going to make it. You don't have time to doubt that. Okay, you don't. I have all the proof. Okay, there's a lot of people not talking about that because there was still so much healing to do, but people weren't choosing love. So God bypassed it for you. And that's why God said it's a great reset for mankind. So this is something you need to take very seriously because God bypassed your whole year of karma healing time because people were throwing so much judgments at me, and I'm the one who brought it about. That's not a joke. Okay. I'm not a man. My twin flame is. I'm the feminine component. Eve. Okay. Sekhmet. Mary. And if you watch the whole work, those are the lifetimes I called back every time I would clear a portal. So you have to be free of all karma. You cannot bypass it. You cannot cut it. You have to heal it. You had to have healed it. All shadow, understanding it through internal discernment to not give your power away. Okay. To get into the new earth, your karma will be measured. And if you have any left, you can't make it because it doesn't align. Sweet. Thank you, Saint. I just, people come on and they leave. And if you can't hear me now, you're not going to make it. So Lisa, again, that's coming from your head space. You're not co-creating with spirit. When you're ready, spirit would guide you to do so, but you need to be co-creating with spirit every day, asking them to guide your way because it's beyond our mind. Okay. Are you ready yet? Do you honestly think you're ready yet? And what would block you from doing that? What you need to work on right now is, yeah, exactly. What's going to block you from being able to do that? Why would God say, hold off on that, but hear me and follow my call every day? Learn to be internal, learn to discern internally first. Learn to be internal, learn to be in your heart space, not triggered out of it, right? Learn to choose love, because if you did that right now, your shadow would be blocking you, okay? And you don't want to spread that shadow, okay? So your focus should be learning to be balanced and internal discernment. Heart-centered, heart open at all times, not letting anything take that away from you. But learning to co-create, learning to listen to spirit, learning to channel spirit, learning how they communicate with you. And that should have been done about a year ago and focused from that point on, because I've given you all of that and you went through all of my courses. So this is something we've talked about, right? But the shadow got in there. And then when your karma would rise, it would hurt to the gut and it triggers us to go, you know what I mean? Because it's not easy. Guys, this isn't going to be easy for anybody. Yeah. But you're thinking about it, right? But if you were in your heart space and you asked spirit, they would have validated. They're going to tell you what to do every day. And if it's outside of anything with that, making you think you have time, making you think all this stuff, that's not spirit. Okay. Because what happened to create karma is the shadow gets in and takes you away from the light. It gets you to do things outside of high vibrational, unconditional love. Okay. So that's why Malachi went through every component you need today in the beginning of this video. Every step you have to be balanced alignment. That's from the heart center, open heart, pure heart. If you can't see everything, there's work to still do. Okay. If you're triggered, there's still work to do because those are wounds you just have to release. There's no reason to hold on to them. And we don't have time. All karma is due and all wounds are due because the new earth is pure. Joy, abundance, love, gratitude, all high vibrational, extremely high vibrational things. We're not governed by the matrix there. Money is not the guide. Joy and love is. Abundance is a byproduct. for all of that. Okay. So if you're living to survive, you're in the matrix. If you're passionately creating through your heart-centered flow and heart nudges, you're not necessarily in the matrix anymore. Okay. All right. But you need to be able to see it all, because you can only see past the shadow. So if there's shadow you're doing, I would be very careful with how you allow that to be present in your reality. Okay. So I'm going to give a card message. If you're just joining, please watch the beginning of this video, because it completely tells you exactly what you're going to need to do to get through this portal. We're in the final portal, the portal of the Nile. That was the last gate that I cleared until the 13th gate of heaven, which I opened up after that. Okay. So God bypassed a whole year of time. This is very jarring for everybody, because love was not present a lot. Unconditional love. Okay. So please watch this video very carefully, because everything you need is there. And if you can't see it, heal until you can very quickly. You don't have time. Okay. This upcoming Lionsgate is going to require massive Merkaba activations that I will be providing in our 8-day workshop. But if you can't receive them from the earth, there's work to do, right? What else was important? Just really watch it. Now I'm going to give a card message from the ascension deck that I created during bringing through all the portal healings. Let's see what that one says first. And it's not a joke that you can't carry karma through. Okay. 5555. Yeah, you're going to, but it's stuff that I've been telling you. And I also, Amy, want you to look at our personal posts on Facebook again, those messages. There's something there I need you to really look at, because something's going on there. Okay. And I just want to make sure that you are where you need to be. Okay. Because you guys past this one, if you don't make it past this one, you won't make it. We're in the final portal. God bypassed a whole year of karma healing opportunity, because you can't have karma with you. It doesn't align. That's what kept you out of heaven on earth, right? Because it doesn't align. And in the new earth, you get a blank contract. Okay. If you don't believe that, for the person that just left, again, like seriously, it's something you got to take seriously. Just like Malachi said, to listen to everything I say very carefully. That's not a joke. You cannot have any karma. Not bypassing it, not cutting ties. You have to heal it to rise, because you get a blank contract. You have a heart review. Okay. All right. All karma had to be healed. And because everybody was throwing judgments my way, refusing to listen, refusing to see the work of God, he cut it short. Love was not the guide of mankind. So it's considered a great reset for mankind. So only those that arise now have love in their hearts. Unconditional. No karma. It's not a joke. In the path of righteousness, that's what I do. I call all your karma forward so that you can see it clearly to choose unconditional love the whole way through. Now, in the cards I just pulled, which I created, channeled as I was activating the pyramid portals, 2 balancing cards came through. Okay. Balance provides many things, including being able to see the right directions. If you are not in balance from the heart center, means your heart's open and that's what's guiding your way. Internal discernment, love, God. You won't be able to see. You won't see the shadow working through you. You can only see past your shadow. Then we have, again, balancing forces within and around you. Higher frequency energies required, full balance. Okay. You have to be higher vibrational. If you're governed by the matrix, you're not in balance. To balance the forces within and around you, higher frequency energies required. Okay. That is where maximum abundance begins. This just validated everything that we just told you. And that's what I was talking about in our personal book. Maybe YouTube is messing with the numbers. If that's the case and nobody left, I apologize. But I just want everybody to hear this message, because I've had so much judgments come towards God's work. And I had all the keys unto new earth. And because people weren't utilizing them and stillness and sitting through and seeing beyond the illusion and rising through unconditional love, God cut a whole year time off of healing your karma. And I feel like I failed because I wasn't lovable enough, which I know that's not true. But yeah, it says only 3 are here than 4. So if you don't take this seriously now to everything that I tell you, you won't make it through this portal. It's not a joke, and I'm not here trying to uh, scare you or anything. God bypassed a whole year's time and called it a great reset. Okay. He took away the time to heal karma because nobody was. And there was a lot of judgment towards his work and the one he sent through. So don't do that now, okay? You have to listen diligently. You have to be, these are the absolute keys to make it through this portal, because if you don't now, you don't have time anymore. So we had 2 balancing cards, just like I told you in the message from Malachi and what I've been telling you. If you are not in balanced alignment, you won't make it. You don't have any time now. You can't be in the matrix at all, not even a pinky toe. You have to be in your heart center, flowed by the nudges of spirit, co-creation, the right one, not your head, okay? And balance. Balance provides many things, clarity. Balancing the forces within you require higher frequency energies, and that is where maximum abundance truly begins. Okay, so absolutely, thank you. Just saying. And that's what I told you guys. I woke up at actually 3 o'clock in the morning saying you guys are not in balance. So those that are in my group have had the guidance from me. Okay, completely have that's what the path was. That's what the path to righteousness was. God giving you every opportunity to clear it all, to heal it all, to rise through, to love, to be in the new earth. Okay. Lay of the land. Lay of the land changes when open doors are used. Okay. So God provides opportunities, but you have to take them. Okay. I'm not the only one who talks about balanced alignment, but I'm one of the few that talks about the karma in a bigger way, bigger scale, because I brought about the return of Christ. I know what I had to clear. I know what it means for all of you. I know what parts of the matrix and the illusions that they've placed upon you. I know how it blinds you, not to mention I see your entire heart. I do heart reviews. So you need to understand that I'm not here to harm or cause fear. I'm here to help. And those that I am the path home. That's not a joke. God always said Jesus was, right? What it is Jesus is the masculine complex. That's a religion. It has to be both masculine and feminine. My DM and I, he is around. He is attached to me internally. He's a part of it. Okay. But there were mishaps on that journey. And I got a walk-in DM, and the one after that has been slightly behind me and rising because of that. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm the one that brought it all through. Okay. But I feel like people are expecting a man named Jesus solely to walk out of the sky or whatever they think. But I've been here the whole time. The return of Christ played out on this channel. All of them, most of this channel are the workshops and messages from God during that, and what was telling you was coming. And then what's crazy is you can see other people see it in the energy after I do the work, but you have to be open to see it. Okay. And the only way to make it through this portal, the only way is to be in balanced alignment from the heart center. All karma cleared. You don't have any more time to heal karma. So you better dig your heels into love, unconditional, harder than ever before, and rise above it all. Okay. And the lay of the land will change when the open opportunities are used. That is when things will shift for you. Okay. Absolutely on the path home. You have to hear my call. You have to follow me home. That's what God always told you is going to be the case. And that's exactly what Malachi told you. And that's what I am, the sun. Okay. Ra, Horus, the DM, Ra, it's all the same. Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Eve, Adam, the moon, the sun. It's all been cleared, all realigned. It's all a part of it. Okay. So Only when you make the changes necessary within you will your reality shift. And in this portal, it's your final chance, okay? God skipped a whole year of opportunity to heal your karma and called it a great reset for mankind. So beauty and power reside in many spaces. This is what I'm talking about. It's the lens of love and power, sovereignty. If you're giving your power away to anybody or anything, you're in the matrix. That's governed by the shadow, governed by money, governed by fear, governed by ego, governed by greed, judgment, foods. Are you in control of your body? Do you know what you're putting in your body? Can you hear your body? Medications. If you are saturated in medications, you can't hear. You won't be able to receive these high vibrational things. And now people are going to be like, well, what about necessary medications? You could heal. Okay. But you needed to be still internal. You need to still listen to your body. I would never tell you to stop taking medications because I know me as a healer. I do a lot of things that are not normal as a healer, including the medical side. Okay. But I'm not a doctor, so I won't claim to be. But what I do does not align with what they do. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. The foods we eat, we've been poisoned nonstop, from the foods to the medications to everything. So if you're not in your own sovereignty, trusting your own body, first and foremost, that's what is required. Okay. But there is beauty and power in many spaces, especially places we do not usually venture to see. Okay, just like what this card says. 2 cards of balanced alignment required, which requires high vibrations. Okay, your heart has to be opened. You have to be governed by love, not governed. I don't like that word. Governed by the shadow, or guided by love. All right, that's the 2 worlds. Beauty and power resides in many spaces. That has to be your lens. Where is beauty and where am I giving my power away? I call it back now. So are you giving your power away to the medical field, or are you able to hear inside you? Can you know when something doesn't feel right? Okay, that's the difference. Lay of the land. The world will only change for you if you use the opportunities to change it. Because everything happens through you, not to you. There is depth and wonderment. Dig deeper, there is more. So what did God say? The rule of thumb is that if you couldn't see everything, there were more work to do. There is depth and wonderment. Taking things deeper and deeper. That's the synchronicities, which are more than synchronicities. Synchronicities are many things. It's a communication from spirit. Okay, so you have to be able to take everything deeper, from those to how you're feeling, to what is happening in the world around you, everything, to what I'm saying, take it deeper. Okay, that doesn't mean judge it. It means take it deeper within you to find out where you're not that. Okay, if things are happening in your reality, you need to take it deeper. What are you doing to cause it? Because everything is a reflection of you. And I do mean everything, from your family ties to your relationships, to the world around you, to money stuff. Everything is a reflection of you. So what did you do to create it? Are you in fear? Does money scare you? Are you worried? That's lack. Well, if I quit my job, I won't pay my bills. That's lack. That's not abundance mindset. That's not the power of you. Okay, you guys, this is not a maybe. Not hearing me won't help you. That will actually stop you dead in your tracks from making it through this portal. I am the path home, the sun, the one. Okay, watch the Matrix. Watch the Nile workshops. Watch all of my workshops on this channel, and you'll see the entire Return of Christ play out. Matter of fact, in the Ascension playlist, I put it in the order in which it was received. So you can watch the whole entire Return of Christ play out, if your shadow doesn't stop you. But only ones that can see it all will make it through. There is no time but the time now to do it. Okay, I don't care if you have to go to work. You're not outside of the matrix. You're in it. If God says just do this and trust me, then that's what you need to do. When you need money, say, hey, God, I need money. What can I do today to create it? Where can I flow? Because our passion is what? It comes from a space of helping others, not ourselves. It's not about you, because we're all connected. So your passion always lies in helping others. Okay. But in order to get there, you need to make sure you're aligned in internal discernment, right? Internal discernment, heart-centered. Okay. So, yep, pay attention to the signs. Okay. Right now, more than ever, you need to be totally discerning those signs, taking them deeper. They're more than just signs, they're communications from spirit on a very deep level. Okay. The numbers mean many things, and you need to take them deeper. And be aware of self-sabotage, because that will stop you from ascending. That's why I did a course on that, right? And we healed all that, right? Unless you let it back in. So pay attention to the signs and avoid self-sabotaging behaviors. That is generally what gets us to create karma, is lack of self-love or love for others, which always stems from lack of self-love. Okay? Discover your life purpose now. Discovering your life purpose. This is your passion. It's all about helping others, giving to others, helping others see what we couldn't see. Period. Okay. Your passion should never be governed by the matrix. If money is your guide, you're not in your passion. If all you care more about is making that paycheck, you're not out of the matrix. And why would you need to give a 2 weeks notice if we don't have 2 weeks to get out of the matrix? We're in the final portal now, not a year ago, now, right? Making sense? So there's like these illusions of grandeur you have to be very careful of. Those are self-sabotaging behaviors. Okay. Spirit's never going to tell you you have time right now, ever. They're going to say, do it now. Here is your opportunity. You need to align with the frequencies of sound. That's what that talks about. Aligning with the frequencies is your opportunity to take that portal. Okay. It can only be opened and accessed at certain times, and spirit will always let you know when it's aligned. And if you don't take action in that moment without hesitation, you miss it. And right now, if you miss it, you don't make it. You don't make it. Okay. Because just because the world hasn't fully crumbled yet, you don't know when this money stuff is going to fall. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be a week from now. It doesn't matter. You have to escape it now. You don't wait till it falls. Okay. Alchemy talks about understanding your power. Sorry, my doggy is my alarm. Alchemy, understanding your power. Okay. You have to understand your power, your passion, your purpose. Be aware of self-sabotage. Okay. Pay attention to the world around you, because it's going to speak loudly. And you're going to hear it when you're in balanced. Angel, do you mind? You're going to hear it when you're in balanced creation. Shh. Come here, baby. Come here, little babies. All right. So it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's part of the matrix. Doesn't matter. It's painful. It's killed people. It causes suffrage. It causes division. It causes greed. It causes manipulation. How does money matter? Who cares? 22-22-333. Angel, I've had enough. Come here. Come here, baby. So you need to understand the matrix to the new earth, okay? Abundance is promised in the new earth for those who are balanced creation. That's money. Abundance is a byproduct of high vibrations right now because it's been changed. So if it's still what's governing your choices, you're in the matrix. If money is what governs your choices and not passion and joy, you're in the matrix. Self-sabotaging behaviors, fear, matrix governing you. All right, this is the last deck I need to pull from the collective message one. Whoop, and then I'll get into the few personal ones. I feel like there's one more card. Hang on. Ooh, there was. Did you see how far that flew out? I love those. Okay. All right, so time. You have to take your time. What does this mean? This does not mean take your time with things. This means own your sovereignty with time. You're in charge of your time. So right now, if I tell you right now is the only time you have to do these things and you have to do them today, guess what the shadow's going to do? It's going to convince you have time. It's going to take your power away from that time. That's what the matrix does too, right? I have to work so many hours to make just enough money. That's ridiculous. When you're in a high vibration, you make a lot of money in a shorter period of time because you call it in through your passion. When you're in passion, oh man, you create things crazily, okay? So what this means, taking your time does not mean go slow. It does not mean you have tomorrow. It means to take your power back from your time. So you see how this one's taking the number. Well, you're telling me that I have to be governed by the clock. I'm taking that. No, I don't. It's my time. This is my time. So balance from the heart center means you create your schedule, period. You are in sovereignty of your time. And if it's something that you don't love unconditionally, you are in the matrix. If it's not your passion, and every second of every day that you are creating from, you are in the matrix and you won't make it through this portal. So if money is the reason you're doing something, get the fuck out now. Okay? But De La Roca doesn't go far enough, I don't think, to tell those people how to create their money. You have to be governed by, see, there's that word, governed. Not governed by the matrix, guided by love and passion, not focused on money, but focused on joy creations, letting spirit guide your way, because they're going to tell you to heal something first before they tell you to do something else for others. You understand me? So always let them guide the way, not your head, your heart, spirit, co-creations. And anytime they try to take your power through fear or control of time or money or anything, you're not out of the matrix. Okay, I hope I'm saying that clearly. And you need to meditate a lot. You need a very high vibration at this time and focusing on your body and your health because we need it. Okay, that's why we had to purge these GMOs. So you also have to surrender to the necessary changes. Okay, you can't control them. You can't think you know best because that's going to be your ego or your shadow or where you can't see past. You have to let spirit guide your way without hesitation, because the moment you hesitate to the heart nudges, you let in the shadow to take your power. Okay. So you need to take your power back from time. You need to take your power back from money. If what you do is for money, you're in the matrix. If you're worried about all those debts and all those things piling up on you, you're in the matrix. Because you can call in everything you need as long as you're in balanced flow and a high vibration, you're going to get it right when you need it. Because we're here to help others. So if your focus is to help others, right? Being of service, that's your passion. If your focus is on yourself and money and making sure you have this and you have that, that's the matrix. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm buffering, but if you're focused on your passion and helping others and your joy and creative flow and balance from the heart center, money is not your guide, but it always comes in miraculous ways and right when you need it the most, because you're putting out to help others. The avenues you need are opened in there. And co-creating with spirit, they're going to tell you what others need. Okay. That's how we help ourselves, is by helping others, because we're all connected. So if you're selfish and you're focused on yourself and your money and you're this and you're that and me, that's all matrix and ego. Okay. But there's also that you can go from a wounded standpoint and all you do is give your power away. That's not what it's talking about. Okay. So surrender to those changes, because you cannot stay here otherwise. That wall is blocked. He can't go backwards. He can only go forward. Okay. And then there's this. Lisa says she's buffering, so I'm sorry if it is. We need to understand that. You see how this baggage is green, right? We will carry wounds. We will carry sorrows, woe is me stuff. We carry loss. But within the loss, something can be gained. So if you change the perspective to whatever is falling apart, to allowing it to heal what needs to heal within you and rise above, then you're gaining and you're rising and you're growing. It's never about that hurt. It's never about holding on to that sorrow, waiting for others to validate you. How are you any better than anybody else, right? We're all in the same boat. We all need to just let go. We all have wounds, but They are meant to be healed now and let go, right? They once gave us something. We once gained from holding on to those pains and suffering. It's what they taught us to do. But there is no reason to do that. We need to change our lens to everything is here to help us grow, okay? So pay attention to the world around you. Stay in balance, okay? There is depth and wonderment. Take everything deeper. Be aware of self-sabotaging behaviors, okay? Things only change when you take the opportunities to change them. That's what this talks about, all right? You need to be in your sovereignty for time. You don't have time. So to think you have time is wrong. God just bypassed a whole year of healing time for the mankind, okay? You don't have time. The time is now only. You can't think of tomorrow. You have to be in the now here only, okay? Discover your life purpose and make sure you're not giving away your power. Okay? Understand your power. You don't have time. And anywhere I see people going, well, I can do this 2 weeks from now. No, that's not you. That's a shadow. You're being governed by the shadow because you don't have time. You need to take your time and do it now. That's what that card means. That means own your power through time now. You don't have time. You are not promised tomorrow. We are in the final portal. So you're either rising or falling. There's no in between. Okay? None. You don't have time. All right? So that was the collective message and what you need to do to get into the new earth. Period. It's falling now. Okay? The old earth is falling now. And if you are anchored into it in any way, shape, or form, have any karma, are not in this space, and can't hear me without judgment, without anything getting in the way, you won't make it. You don't have time. Okay? God said enough. All right. So just send Lisa and Amy, if you're still here, please let me know. It says only 2 people are here. I'm going to do a quick message for you all. I've got all different decks here in case anybody else wanted one they could have donated, but I didn't get that. So I suspect nobody did. So hopefully I'm not buffering out. Okay. Lisa says, yep, I assume that means she's here. Amy's here. Those are the only 2. Did I lose just Saint? All right. Well, Jasaint is not commenting, so I'll just bypass for now. Okay. Perfect. I'm on my living room computer, so I'm not hardwired in. So it could be buffering a little bit. But my kids are not like all on games in different rooms or anything, so it should be okay. You never know. You can pay all you want for the best Wi-Fi, and it still is. All right, so I think, yeah. Okay, Amy says no buffering. So I'll start with Lisa, then we'll go to Amy, and if Jasaint comes back, she can have her message. Okay? She was here a bit ago, so maybe it just buffered on her end. I don't know. Okay? So we will go with Lisa. I need to calm the energy because there's been some negative that got in somewhere on this live. Okay. So I'm tuning into her energy. For those that don't know me, I will burp when I do that. But it's only showing 2 of you here. Oh, Jasaint is here now. Okay. Then Jasaint, are you ready for your message? Because that was a delayed response and it's only showing 2 people. So are you ready? Because you were first and I don't want to skip you if you're here. Okay. So Jasaint is first, okay? And then Lisa and then Amy. All right. Wow, Roger's still here, 33. You guys, it says only 2 people are here. You see what I mean? So you got to comment if you're here because I can never tell. It always shows people going out when I say certain things. And I'm like, no, this is the most important time to hear these right now. Okay. Darn YouTube, right? Let me readjust my physical vessel. Super sweaty and I have to go potty. I'm going to just bypass that feeling. So Jacinth is first. Okay. There might be a delay in the commenting, so I'll try to take my time. And clearly YouTube lies about who's here. Clearly, YouTube, get it together. Get it together. Oh my gosh. All right, let me get the decks out that I need for you specifically. Now, you three did also receive some guidance in our group, so pay very close attention to it, okay? Very close attention to it. Hang on. Sorry, just saying, I'm shuffling through my decks because they want different decks for you than they did for Lisa. And I thought I lost you. And I also want you guys to understand something, that De La Roca sees what I do very closely right after I do it, but you realize he still can't see me, right? So even he has healing that was still required. So I need you guys to understand it takes a lot of healing, okay? Absolutely. Yeah, just check through those 2 posts and all of the comments, okay, to get everything that is required. Amy especially, there was some stuff in there I really needed you to look at. But really all of us. So pay attention to all of it, okay? And then these messages that are from Spirit now hopefully give you everything you need, okay? So Jacinth is first. Wow. Popcorning out. Urgent messages. Yep. Okay. So Jacinth, I know your heart. So this message, what I'm seeing already, is very, very, very important. Because you guys, if you don't think for a second that I don't see your totality of your heart, I do. Okay, that's who I am. Okay, perfect. As long as they are reflected soon. I brought them through it at like 3 a.m. when I woke up because it was in the energy. And then afterwards, I had some very strange dreams. So things feel very strange right now, you guys, for everybody. The world feels very strange. I don't care who you are or what side you're on. It's strange. Perfect. Okay. So Jacinth, this message is for you specifically. Let me hang on a second because I'm going to pull from another deck really quick. 2 more decks. Whoop, as part of the message. Oh my goodness, this is so loud to you. Very loud for your heart space. So make sure your heart is open to receive these fully, okay? And no hesitation to act on them, okay? Because we don't have time. We're in the final portal. And I want everybody to ascend. I can help in the ways that I can. But we are like out of time. Jacinth, surrender procrastination. So that actually came into... Yes, Amy says, yes, it is. So procrastination, Jacinth, played out in your message today on Facebook as well. So pay attention to that, okay? This is that time card. Surrender procrastination now. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract the success you need, but it will also allow you to rise through the portal in time, okay? So surrender that procrastination now. That is one of your biggest shackles. All of these really are. You ready for this message, Jacinth? Because it's going to hit home. Surrender to joy. Surrender to joy now. You have a few surrenderings here, okay? Surrender to procrastination. You don't have time. You need to be doing it every second of every day. Surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. Okay? Surrender to procrastination and surrender to joy and surrender to your full power. Stop giving your power away. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. You have to detach from the matrix and be in your full power now, today, not 5 minutes from now, not an hour from now, not tomorrow. If you don't, you're going to miss the portal opportunity and you're going to give the shadow your power back, okay? This is how a lot of times you'll give it away, is through thinking you have time, thinking you don't know joy, because you do. I've heard you say that before. Thinking you don't deserve it, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's not true. Okay. So surrender to your full power. It's going to require strength. Okay. Strength, and you don't have time. Okay. So this is where you were before and you gave it all away. So you have to ask why. But within that, it's also forgiveness required. So please don't hold on to the past, what shoulda, coulda, woulda, and what was done. You need to be in the here and the now, full forgiveness applied, not thinking you have time. I saw you doing that again on Facebook today. Again, how many times have I told you to co-create? And why haven't you already? Okay. You think you are, but you're not. Just constantly sharing what I did is not necessarily the case. That's not Spirit telling you to do that every time. That's not what Spirit's telling you to help people with every time, right? It's not them guiding your way. So you need forgiveness now. You need to surrender to your own power, not the matrix, not controlled by money or debt or fear. You need to surrender to joy. I'm allowed to feel joy. I don't care what other people are saying, because the shadow is going to try to stop you. Surrender procrastination. You don't have time. Grace and generosity. Again, it's about helping others. Okay. Some of us are giving more so that we can help others in a bigger way. It's never about yourself. Okay. So when you're focused on you and you and you and making sure others see you and this and that and the other, your lens need to be focused on helping others. Okay. And not through like parenting out of guilt type of scenario, right? But through full power, full strength, co-creation, balanced alignment. The opportunity is presented in front of you. You need to be open and visible to those opportunities to rise out of that shackle. Do you understand? To rise out of that shadow fully. Also, an empty well is present. So time to replenish. You need self-love, and to raise your vibration now. Surrendering again. You have a lot of surrendering. You don't like to surrender. You're giving your power away to ego big time, which is also a reflection of judgment. So we have the forgiveness card, and then we also have first breath, beginner's mind. Okay. You need to look at everything from a beginner standpoint, not from what was left behind or not from yesterday. Okay. And you don't have time. That was presented in the conversation we had today on Facebook a little bit. You thinking you still had time, thinking that what I say is not a necessity, and the second that I say it, it is. Okay. Like, you don't have time. Co-create now. Co-create does not come from what I should have done before, but what Spirit says I need to do now. Am I clear so far? Because I have one more deck to reflect. Any questions on the message so far? If it seems like I'm being harsh, I'm not, you guys. I want everybody to get through this portal. And I know your hearts, especially these guys. I've gotten their heart reviews a couple times over, and they have specific things to clear. Okay, so that's what kind of these are reflecting, and why I'm so like, oh, like, you got to do this now, because we are in the final portal. Okay, so just say if you have any questions from that part of the message, let me know as I move on to the next final part of your message. This one deals with your relationship, because there's a big shadow component in it. He has not healed out of the matrix. So the energy of your loved ones will stop you from rising. So there's a very important message here about your relationship coming now. But I need to know if there's anything left. Okay, very clear. Because if you got to hear every detail of that, okay? A lot of surrendering for you, which you don't like to do. You like to be in control. And God says, no, I'm in control right now. Okay. So co-creation needs to be applied. It's not what you think is needed. It's what God said is needed for others. Okay. That's why you can't find your passion, because you're not letting the heart guide you. Okay, so this final component deals with your relationship. I see your husband in this energy very clearly right now, and it's something you need to be aware of. It's something you need to be very aware of, because your focus that you've had has distorted your lens many times over. He is a karmic patterned, okay? Listen carefully to this, what this cards say. Karmic patterned. Listen to my words very carefully as well. Pay attention to the karmic patterning. Okay. So this message is if you're looking at it through your ego, you're not going to hear it, or your head, right? Don't discern it through your head. Don't analyze it there. Feel it in your heart, what I'm about to say to you. Okay. So what I have to tell you, it may not feel great, but that's okay. A long time ago, you should have been helping him heal, not letting him govern you. Your choices, your decisions, not hiding things. Okay? He needed to come from a karmic patterning into your soulmate. He did not. You need to call in your soulmate. Okay? Are you going to know who that person is? Does that mean it's not him? No, stop thinking that way. This is in the energy and what you have to do in order to make things clearer. And to not give your power away to any shadow components, no matter whose they are. Call in your soulmate means your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Because even if it's like a twin flame journey, it's all internal. Okay? We help each other internally by not letting their judgments guide our way, by not letting their shadow and matrix components govern us. So even though he's a sweetheart, and it's in the energy, and you know what I'm talking about. Where money is applied, that's the matrix. That should not be what guides our life. You need to call in your soulmate to rise. This situation involves marriage. True love. This is a romance of a lifetime. True love comes from a soulmate space. Okay, not a karmic one. So you need to let your friends help you, ask and accept support from others. So this talks about surrendering to the guidance from spirit, not your ego mind. Okay? Not what you want, not what you think is right. No matter what, it has to be what spirit tells you to do. Because what is happening is beyond your mind. And you could take this message and go, oh, he's not my soulmate. I'm not telling you that. What this is telling you is it needed to come out of karmic patterning. Okay? True love is represented through non-karmic patterning, but soulmate patterning. Okay? So he's not going to tell you to be controlled by the matrix. Okay? You won't be afraid to speak your truth to him. If you are, that is not soulmate complex. Okay? You have to be in a soulmate relationship to make it through. Wedding, union of the souls. That's what this talks about. Okay, this is why you should never just read from a book of cards. You have to read the totality of the message here. There was a lot of surrendering for you, and you have let his shadow govern you. You have let it infect you. And I remember telling you and Gigi, which Gigi has been drastically removed from the new earth to never return, okay? I told you both that when you are sleeping with somebody who is carrying a very large shadow, you have to remove that shadow every time you do. And she's like, so you're telling me I can't have love with my husband? And I said, no, I never said that. You literally have to remove that energy from your sacral, your root, your whole entire energetic field every time you do, so that you can see clearly and he has his own power to choose what he needs to choose. You cannot let his shadow guide you. That is a karmic relationship. Okay? It's not about wounded, it's about full power. And if he doesn't rise into that, then that's not what I'm here to tell you. I don't know. Okay? Wedding of soul mates. Okay? That means like connectedness, togetherness, lifetime contracts. If you were here to help him rise above and you did not, and you let his shadow take you down, that's on you. But it hurts him too. So where we give our power away, it doesn't just hurt us, it hurts the ones we're giving it to, because then they can never see clearly. Does this make sense? So if you're afraid to say who I am, what are you doing? You need to let spirit guide you only, not his shadow, not your shadow, not the matrix, but unconditional love. Unconditional love means you're going to love me no matter what conditions are present. There will be no conditions because I'm allowed to be freely myself completely, and I know that you will love me no matter what. Soulmate, true love. That is the romance of a lifetime. Any questions? Roger, I hope you do, because we are in the final portal, my friend. So listen very diligently. Have a good day. All right. Jacinta's done. If you don't have any questions, I'm moving on to Lisa. Hopefully she didn't buffer out. She is still here. And then after Lisa, it will be Amy. I'm giving the messages as they want me to give them. I don't know what's coming. Okay, Lisa is here, and I'm not saying anything from Jacinta. It has to, you guys, we don't have time. It's your free will. Yes, you make the decisions, but it's either you rise or you don't, right? And I want you all to rise. So the messages have to be very clear. Okay, I know it's heavy. It's meant to be heavy. But that was kind of, everything is a reflection of your energy, right? And what we've caused. So forgiveness, remember that part in the message. The petalite, forgiveness, self-love. Your well is empty. So there needs to be a lot of self-love. You're welcome. Okay. So kind of like that book of what I wrote that I unpublished because the feedback I got was not what I was looking for, but like it didn't reflect the book itself. But in that book that I had out, it talked about how to help our loved ones through too, right? Internal flow. If we're not aligned, they can't be, those kinds of things. If we let their shadow govern us, then we're letting ourselves fall backwards, and we're bringing the shadow into the new earth. And that shadow's tricky. You're going to see it as, wounds where the shadow's like, oh no, we're trying to sabotage all of you and hurt the new earth and not allow it through because they have to leave, right? So there's always more than meets the eye. The shadow doesn't want you to rise because it takes their power away. And where God's light doesn't rise, it hurts. Like if you're detached from God's light, it's so painful. It's a void. It's not pretty. Okay. So in truth, I know none of you really want to fall, but unfortunately, love was not chosen above all. All right. So Lisa, I'm going to your heart center messages. Your heart is still closed, a good 75%. There's some avoidant energy there. Okay. We need to look at it. That way we can go, oh, let me push that out so that I can rise up. That's what this is all about. So your heart is closed to the tune of 75%, and there is avoidant energy present. It's not unwavering compromise, but it's avoidance. Okay, so we've opened it up a bit, definitely reflecting that, but you need a lot more. Okay, and if you can say, well, I don't want to open it up because then I just cry. That's not it at all. You get stuck in this, and the psychological aspect of it, right? Like it happens a lot. When people go to therapy a lot, they get stuck in an analytical perspective, and that's not healing. Okay, no matter what, it doesn't heal you. There comes a time when we need to look and we need to think and we need to process and to cry a little bit, right? But then we need to move on to joy, and that's why you need a balanced flow. Here's another thing. Why are you separating a career from your heart-centered actions? Our heart center is about helping people. Okay, it's our passion ignited. It's always about helping people. We're all healers, no matter what, and that's what they took away from you. Okay, so you need to stop the separation. That's the matrix. So that's in the energy before I pull the cards. How do you open your heart space? Did you just ask that? So I think I heard. So it's just like I've taught you before. Okay, some emotions are so heavy that we don't want to feel them, and so we'll come outside of our body. If we're in our head, if we're focused outward, our heart is not open all the way. The more you focus in your chest and you discern the energies from there, the emotions, you have to discern them. You need to feel them. You need to dive into them, not let them have power over you. You need to take your power back from your emotions by listening to them, asking them what their message is, sitting with them to hear that message, releasing it, and moving forward, allowing that to be free, right? Setting it free, releasing it down. To connect to your heart center, you focus on your heart center. The more you're in your chest, the more you're focused on those emotions and being able to feel and hear your body, your internal discernment alignment is there, okay? So that's when your compass is inward. You cannot escape. You cannot avoid when things are uncomfortable. It's okay. I've done shit in my life. People would throw the most nastiest things at me, right? Like, but if I let those affect me and I shut that down from seeing what's happening, the clear perspective, then my heart closes, right? Like if things I've had it happen during the return of Christ where it hurt so bad what my DM did, took my breath away, and I closed my heart and I didn't even realize I did that. It just hurt so bad. I like tried to get that pain, and spirit had to come in and open my heart again. And then I realized I wasn't in my heart. I kind of escaped it. So sometimes, no matter how painful things are, we have to sit with it. And sometimes we have to do that alone, right? Because people have a hard time with their own pain, let alone sitting with us in ours. So it's a soul journey. It's not a codependent journey kind of a thing. So I hope that helps. It's layered. And I hope it answered your question. All right, so here's what the cards have to say. I'm being drawn to the surrender, the animal deck, and the heart one. I like this deck. Some people think it's about relationships only, but it's really about our heart center. So anytime I get relationship decks, I look at myself as a self-reflection. Because the first relationship we have is that of ourself, right? So that's when we're talking about relationship with others, we need to look at our relationship with ourselves first. You need to have a balanced routine immediately from the heart center. So co-creating with spirit, allowing spirit to tell you, allowing spirit to guide you, because they're going to guide you to what you need to do before you can do what they need you to do. You know what I mean? Heal ourselves first before we can heal others. All right. So I have these. Yeah, I like this. Oh, I like this a lot. So I talked about this already in your message, okay? And they're coming through in the cards. The energy of feeling alone. Okay, Lisa, there's the energy of feeling alone. When you feel alone, we get into a place of like sorrow. Okay? Yeah. Thank you for validating that. It says there's only one person here now. These messages aren't meant to be, they're just truly what is in your heart center to rise, my friends. So they're very important and they're priceless. So don't judge them, right? For what they're worth. So feeling alone, grounding. You need to get grounded. You need to know that you're never alone. It's not about codependency. It's about self-sovereignty. Okay, so when you're feeling alone, it truly does reflect sometimes that we need to find that love within ourselves because we're not really alone. Sweet. Okay, Amy, thank you. Thank you, because it said only one person was here. Now there says two again. So feeling alone reflects the fact that you need to be grounded. You need to be not, because we're never alone, but sometimes on our journey we have to be alone. And we will feel alone when we don't think people understand how we feel. But this is your power, right? It's time to be in your power. It's time to ground to the earth because that helps us feel not alone. All right. Love. Okay. Balance of love. Definitely reflecting here. This is not a relationship necessarily, but this is the relationship within yourself. You need to balance all the energies within you through love. Okay. And moving on from those emotional ties. Okay. Not sitting in them like psychology tells us to do, to analyze them, things like that. You need to let them go. You're holding on to the pain because at some point it brought you a reward. Maybe people felt bad for you. Let's be real, right? Maybe people felt bad for you. Thank you, guys. It says only one person's here, so thank you for those checking in still. And this is something we all need to look at. Number 8 is about self-power, self-reflection. Like, why am I holding on to those emotional wounds? At one point, they rewarded you, but they will no longer anymore, okay? The only one who can truly help you out of this is within you, all right? So you need to get grounded. You need to know you're not alone, but the internal guidance is what's going to help you. Spirit, love, internal balance of love. I need to love all that I do and all that I am, and I need to realize that everything is that reflection of me. Crown chakra. I need to be open to the messages coming in, okay? So when we are not, when we think we know and we think we know best and we're avoidant and things like that, our energy is closed down and spirit can't get in. Yeah. So, yeah. But if your crown is closed, make sure your messages are clear. They're still not quite all the way clear. Okay. But that is true. It is part of your message, but I want you to still open up more. Okay. Open up more. It's not that you're not, but you need to open up more because the crown chakra is here. But you always need to be opening up to that guidance. All right. Not what you think, never what you expect. Never be an expectation. Be an observer, not a spectator. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Be an observer. So even when something comes in, don't go into a spectator mentality. Okay? Stay the observer. Stay the observer the whole time. I am just here observing and acting in the moment, but I really never solidify in knowing anything. Okay? That's important for you. And move on from those emotions. Okay? You've got to feel them, get the message from them, and then move forward. Period. Okay? All right, and focus on love. This black border talks about mastering love, not conditional love, and also your thoughts. Daydreams and decisions. It's about bringing your dreams into action. So you're not in balance. You're not in co-creative stance that way. You're not allowing your heart center to be created in your reality. You may have detached from the matrix, but you're not creating from the heart center. Okay? So in order to do that, these things all have to be present. Because opportunities are at your door, right? But this shows you if you're looking away from them and not internal, you're going to miss it. See how this is behind him? Okay? So your emotions can block you from seeing. So that's why we need to clear them. Because there's opportunities here, divinely guided, divinely present, so you're not alone, okay? And then we have a surrender card for you, Lisa. Oh, there we go. Just like I said, surrender to non-action. So now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. So it doesn't mean you need to not act, because that's not what this message is saying. This message is loudly about action from your heart center. You have to take action. I don't know what you're waiting for. Detaching from the matrix is great, and you're still not fully there, but you have to take action from your heart center every day and in balance. Okay. Your career has to come from the heart center. Spirit will show you and tell you what to do every day from the heart center. Okay. This non-action is not reflecting don't act, because you have to act from your heart center right now. This talks about sitting in the emotions to get the message from them so that you can move on. Okay. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Your power, not my power. Yes. It means to slow down and be an observer. Be an observer. Okay. Be an observer, not a spectator. So spectators will see something and then think they know something, and they don't have the totality of the message. It's from the shadow, and they're spectating. They'll throw judgments. They'll do all these kinds of things, and they're focused by the shadow. You can't separate your world from the heart center. So you need to be still. You need to breathe into those emotions. Focus on your own power, not taking from others' power, and making sure that others are allowed to have their own power, because there's both sides in there for you. So sometimes you don't want to give others their power. You think you know best. And then other times you give your power away to feeling alone and to holding on to sorrows. Okay? And now we have one more part of the message. This is exactly this totality solidifies the message. Okay. So you have the love card, right? Unconditional love is what you need to be loyal to, not the sorrows and the power control and things like that. It talks about your thoughts and what you have power over. And it also talks about creating from your heart space daily. You have to put it into action in your reality. And then this one is dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love, not the matrix. Be loyal to what you love. That means focused on creating from love every day. What are you waiting for? You need to be loyal to what you love. Okay? Not the wounds, not the matrix. Be loyal to what you love. Not what others think or what you want them to do. That's not what it's about at all. You have to be loyal to what you love and your power, and be willing to sit deep into those motions to get the messages they bring so that you can let them go. And you need to be grounded and open your heart fully. Loyal to love means that if I trigger you, your response can't be to shut it up. Your response can't be to run or to think that I'm trying to hurt you. It's a reflection of you. And it's to be able to look into that and go, you know what? It's just showing me where love is not. Make sense? And this is true for everybody. That should resonate with everybody on some level, right? I hope that makes sense. All right. Amy is next. Okay. I know these messages aren't pleasant all the time, but right now we don't have time for them, right? We need to really get to the nitty gritty of what's going on in our heart space so that we can let things go and become that love. Perfect. Amy says it does. See, yeah, if anybody's truly listening to these should resonate a bit with everybody, because they're true components of the matrix. They really are. Okay. Yeah, see, both messages did. Exactly. Because they're all components of the matrix and what we need to let go of. And they stem from, karmic patterning and wounds. Yeah. So good observations. Okay. Amy is next. So and I believe the final one. Yep. So I need to pull out different decks. Bear with me. Okay, Amy, I need you to really dive into that message on Facebook, okay? Because there's something very important in there that I'm seeing in your energy right now. See, just said a lot of her message spoke to you as well. See, exactly. So take every bit that does resonate with you, because it reflects something that's in you as well, okay? Because this is the way the matrix works. It doesn't just affect one person. It affects us all in similar ways. You guys, is it easy to feel these emotions sometimes? Hell to the no. We've never taught how to deal with emotions. We've been taught how to escape them, how to block them, how to shun them, how to quiet them. Okay. We've been taught don't cry, right? We've been taught don't feel. We've been made to think empaths are weird when we should all be that. We all should be empathetic. We should all be, yeah, people will say, I'm an empath. Well, we all should be. That's because they taught us to stun our emotions, okay? So never take them personally, ever, ever. It's not like you're not a good person, right? These are just where our wounded selves lie, okay? So it's in order to grow within, and that's all it should be looked at. And Lisa, that's part of your message too. It's the lens, okay? I'm not out to get you. I'm out to help you love more, just like I've had to do, because love won, right? Love won. And so love has to win within you, okay? All right, so we're gonna switch to Amy. Okay, Amy, you're still giving your power away to the matrix. Yes, I want to bring it up here, but I don't at the same time because I put them on that page for a reason, right? That's our own personal space. But it is kind of reflecting here. So I'm curious to know what that channeled message was. Because a lot of times God will say something and I'll hear you say, I understand that. I know what to do now, but it wasn't aligned with what was said. Okay, so I'm just going to say that. And then we're going to move on. Yep. Yeah. So, but that's just in you, right? Like, you are. So it's just giving your power away to that. But also, one other thing governs you big time. Can you tell me what it is? There's one other thing that governs you big time. And it's about to fall for all of mankind. I don't care who you are. It's about to fall. I mean, everything is, but this is a big component of their control. So I really want you to ask yourself, what is the main thing that governs me from the matrix? She got it. Yes, yes. But what about what God says? Abundance is for you, right? It truly is. You don't need to worry. How do we know what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what this shift fully entails, but I can tell you the dollar bill is falling. Did you know that Trump just went for a message about Bitcoin? Yeah. And why do you need a 2 weeks notice if you're never going to go back to that stuff? Right. What's a 2 weeks, Amy? That 2 weeks notice is scary because you don't have 2 weeks left to be in the matrix. Okay. Understand that. Why do you need a 2 weeks notice? Why? That's saying, well, I don't want to hurt my resume. What good is your resume if the world is falling and we're shifting into a new world? We are shifting into a new world where the matrix is not. Good. Thank you. That's what scared me. I'm like, wait a minute, that's still matrix components because worrying about your resume at this point is futile. You have to be in your own power. And I've quit so many jobs and your resume is controlled by you. So it doesn't matter. What matters is letting go of that power leak, okay? And making sure that you are co-creating with Spirit every day. Spirit knows what you need. Spirit knows what you need. So I want you to give that power to Spirit only, to your power, to your movement, to your abilities, and to Spirit, and let them guide you. And I don't care how uncomfortable it feels. Yep. Good. Good. That's why I wanted to know what that message was that you got the other day, because there's times where I would say something and you're like, I know what to do, but it wasn't it. You know what I mean? So don't let the shadow fool you. Okay, so the first deck I have for you is the directional one. So let's see what comes out here. Yes. So we have East, new beginnings. Look at the portal. Okay. This is letting go of all that you knew and stepping out into something unknown. All right. The matrix controls us. It's about money. It's about all of those things. And that is not the world that we're going into. Okay. You can't know everything. You're not meant to think about tomorrow. That's going to hurt you. Everything needs to be new beginnings, not bringing the past with you. Okay. Not thinking about what once was. It doesn't matter what other people say. Number 3 represents your own power, your own sovereignty. So you really need to step into your power and not knowing what tomorrow will bring. And so allow spirit to guide you. We can't know everything right now. We're not meant to. It's not the matrix world we're going into. It's a total different world. Okay. That's why only love will now rise. Okay. The soul passion. Look at this. The passion from your heart-centered creations. Okay. And the number on this card is 11, I think, or is it 14? Either way, it's about changes, creating the world from your passion, the soul. Okay. Your soul purpose. And that's not matrix related. Money can't govern you, but your passion. New beginnings in your passion. Okay. It's not about, well, I have to pay my bills. Well, God says he's not going to hurt you, right? Like, if you know what to do, remember my balanced passion. What was my course? Balance from the heart center. Passion from the heart center. Abundance from the passions. It's all the same thing. So if you're heart-centered and you're in balance, abundance will flow to you. If you're matching the vibration of passion, you're matching the vibration of love and gratitude and joy, money is a byproduct, okay? Because abundance is a byproduct of that in the new earth. And if you remember, when we first went through the new earth stuff, as I was bringing it through, balance for prosperity. Thank you. They told you that we are promised our gold returned, like our true riches returned, not controlled by the matrix. You had to let that go. Okay. Next deck. And I feel like some people aren't getting that total aspect. There are some people who go, yeah, I need to be out of the matrix and balanced alignment. But what does that mean? Right? What does that mean? And can abundance come through? Yes, it will when you're in balanced alignment. When you're in your power, you're coming from your heart-centered creations, which is your passion, because our passion is about helping others. That is God. Heart-centered, all connectedness, helping others, and not focused on money, because that's greed. That's very low vibrational, but focused on passion and joy and love and helping others. And it's so foreign because that's not what the matrix has you do. And letting go all worries, because you can't create in lack. Ah, my gosh. As I said that, Amy, guess what card flew out? Focus on success. So every day I'm getting up my 9 to 2 or whatever schedule you want to choose, because remember, you own your time. And it's a balance set every day. Every day I do this, this, and this, and this. Self-love is in that. Joy is in that. Creativities are in that. Okay. You took the business course. I was very, very, very diligent on letting you know what all that is. And then your focus on success, not lack. Okay. Well, I won't be able to pay this. Who says that? You just created that. So focus on success, making sure you're putting every detail into your joy and your passion, making sure you're showing up every day and putting yourself out there. And seeing that success come to you, because it's your birthright. The matrix took all that power away from you. Don't let them control your mind and your thoughts. Okay. And this is your biggest challenge, isn't it? This is your biggest challenge. Okay. You have to focus on success, your passions, your joy, not money. Okay. If you're focused on money, you're in the matrix. That's greed. That's what they did to it. That's what they did to all of you. Okay. So you have to let that go. It doesn't mean we don't deserve abundance and money. That's not what's being said. And I don't know what's going to happen to the housing market and everything. And sometimes things come in at the very last second, but you have to keep your vibration high and know that it's coming for you. Okay. That's manifesting. That's what God talks about. The only block to manifesting is lack and what your focus is on. Live your soul, not a role. I don't care what others say. If your DM is coming against you in that, guess what that means? That's his shadow. You cannot give power to that. You cannot give power to it at all. Okay? If he's like, we need the money, that's his shadow. That's the same shadow you're trying to come out of. And he won't clear it until you do. So it doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. It matters what God says. Okay? The new earth, money is not the focus. It's joy, love, union, creation, living your soul, not a role. Okay, I don't have to please you. I have to please me. And if you don't clear this, he can't clear this. So he's going to throw that shadow at you. You better believe it because it's still anchored into him. Okay, you have to be decisive. This means don't put out another anchor of, well, in 2 weeks now, or almost, I'm almost ready. I'll do it tomorrow. You have to do it now and be decisive. So the moment you make the decision, don't let him come at you and go, well, we don't have the money. Make a plan. Okay. What does make a plan mean? That means I know I need this. I know I need that. So I'm going to work really hard right now. I'm going to put all my energy, all my effort to being imbalanced, co-creating, putting myself out there daily. I need to get myself out there now. Okay. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this day. I'm going to post this, then post that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you about make a plan? Because when Spirit used to tell me this, I had nobody explaining to me what that meant. And it took me a minute to get it. Okay. It took me a minute to get it, right? It really does, because it's not the Matrix. It's a whole different world. Okay. You have to live your soul, not a role. I don't care what anybody around you says. Even my own son would come to me and go, you would never let this happen. And you need a job and you're failing as a mother. And it's like, those would hurt. And it's like, no, you don't get it, my child. Okay. You don't get it. I love you. You're just not seeing clearly. But how can he ever see clearly if I don't succeed in what I do? You feel me? Just because other people throw their shadow at you and you want them to love you and be happy with you, that's not right. Okay? Yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. So if you have any questions about this message right here, right now, let me know. Okay? On that note, I have to go potty. So I'm going to see if there's any questions you have. I've been holding it since I started the one-on-ones. I'm a trooper. I did it for all of you. Because I know what I've done. I know what's coming. And I know we've lacked love. And I want everybody to make it through. Okay? So you can text me, Amy, if you want to do that. And ask me any questions and talk to me. Okay? That's what I'm here for. Okay. Text me, Amy, okay? And we will go over what you want to go over. I kind of felt that in the group chat this morning. I didn't mean you had to post it there either. Text me. I would also love to know what that guidance that came through was so I can make sure that I know where it's coming from and if it aligns. Okay, because I don't want you guys being blinded. I want you guys having everything you need. What good would that do you? I am the sun, right? I have to light the way. 2222. Oh, you got you. Amy, when I said that, it was 22222. 5 2s. Okay. All right, you guys. I love you so much. Please heed this message for all that it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to growth, steps of growth, steps of learning and love. I love it. Again, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh my gosh, you guys are overwhelming. Okay, so I love you. And I'm here. Amy, text me. Don't hesitate. Okay. I have nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go potty though. And I will see you guys soon. And I've really got to detox because I got behind on the detoxing the GMO stuff out of my system. So don't give up on that, but don't hurt yourself. Make sure you're nurturing your body. Okay. And the Lion's Gate is going to require massive Merkaba activations for no matter who you are. Okay. See you guys later. Bye.